Hey there, enthusiasts. Kenny has something to say. Not that. Go on.
What do you want me to say? I've been meaning to talk about this for a long time, and I think it's time for me to come out as hetero.
No, that is not what
I love the ladies. What if I was the most flamboyant heterosexual in the world?
Then there'd be questions asked.
I would enjoy that. Sometimes I'm a little flamboyant.
Yeah.
I'm wearing red Converse right now.
That's no, those are just normal Chucks. That's fine.
What? I don't know.
Red or gray are pretty standard.
People ask questions a lot.
Now, if you were wearing those banana ones, yeah, there'd be questions getting asked. I feel like we need to start over. I feel like we've gone off the rails too much.
We always go off the rails.
This is too much. I'm going to have to slice out like half
what
of
are you
this anyway.
talking about? We're talking about sexuality today.
No, we're not.
Let's talk about sex, Brendan. Let's talk about you and your wife. And not me.
We are not going to talk about sex.
Why not?
Because we're going to talk about the opposite of sex.
There are no kids that listen to this podcast with the opposite of sex.
Yep.
Snails.
No. Being sick.
What are you talking about?
We're going to talk about being sick.
That is not what I'm thinking of the opposite of sex is.
It's on the opposite end of the spectrum. When you think sexy, sick is not at the top of the list.
I don't know. I've seen some very attractive girls, and I'd be like, man, she looks sick.
That is not the same thing.
I'm just saying. If you're going to make one qualifier. Now, literally, my mind cannot think. Now I'm trying to think of what the opposite of sex is.
Not sex?
I was going to say it's either sex or not. So it's every other...
Everything
it's the
else.
rest of your day.
It's the rest of everything.
It's the rest of your day when you're not having sex. That's the opposite of sex.
That's the opposite of sex. So...
Boy, that's so weird. It's like one time this hippie guy was trying to explain to me what God was, but in his own hippie way. And he said, it's super easy to understand because anything that's not God, the opposite of that is God. Like he said it exactly like that. But he kept going. And it was so interesting how much sense he wasn't making. He goes, like, think of God. Think of who he is. Think of that big beard. And think of him in heaven, just living up there. Anything that's not that is like not God. This is real. This is
a real conversation.
This is at the airport. I didn't tell you about this.
No, I've never heard this.
This guy was at the airport when I was coming back from Texas in January last year. And keep in mind, I went to Texas to go on like this. I know that people say spiritual journey, but genuinely, it was like a spiritual journey I was going on.
Well, that dude was on a spiritual journey himself.
And then this hippie comes up to me, and 100%, like he looked like, not a hipster, he looked like the modern version of a hippie. Like with like flowers all over him and everything. He had this big straw hat that he probably made himself. It had like frills on the ends and stuff that. Super cool guy. I didn't get his name, but it was also kind of a hippie name. It was like, and I have no problem with hippies or anything. I'm just saying this guy was the quintessential hippie.
Some sort of hippist.
I am not a hippist. No.
So speaking of people with interesting views and things wrong in the head, what I would call sick.
That's such a dumb transition.
Let's transition. All right, so if you're a regular listener,
you always have to be like on point.
I'm very on point.
It makes it sound like we have like a script or something.
We do
this. You know how we come into these folks? I just go to Brandon.
Hold on. That's not on a script. Oh, here we go. Page 3.
Don't ruffle fake papers that you found nearby.
Page 3, Ken.
Okay, sorry. Oh yeah, sickness. Oh yeah,
sickness.
No,
back on track.
Like we record these on Sunday, and then when we go to church in the morning, like, which one to record today? I don't know. You've been sick for a while. Let's talk about that.
Well, so no, I mean honestly though, because like we've missed. We're gonna be missing like 2 episodes now because I was sick, you were sick, then I was sick, and then you were sick.
I mean, I went to the hospital.
Yeah, he actually had to go to the hospital, which is pretty intense. Thankfully, you didn't die. Because this year, or rather this season, because technically it spans 17 and 18, has been one of the worst for the flu.
Have people died?
Yeah.
Who's died?
It's a pretty high mortality rate this year. I don't think anyone here, but like in the U.S., like the deaths, this is one of the highest year of flu-related deaths since the last 30 or 40 years, I think is what they were saying.
So
luckily
this
you
is
didn't
what you
get
wanted to talk about.
This is what I wanted to talk about. People dying.
You wanted to talk about this in our podcast.
No, I wanted to take the lighter side.
You wanted to move from hippies and the fun thing we were talking about before. We have to purposefully transition from that
to death.
And sickness and
we're going
illness.
for death.
Okay, yeah.
So
This is your choice.
speaking of death.
This is our show. We can talk about whatever we want, but this is what you choose. I just want to make sure that's clear.
No, I don't want to talk about death. I want to talk about being sick because we've
Deathly
ill because we've experienced it the last few weeks.
Speaking of that, I had a cough.
Of course.
Sorry, it's the little lady cough.
So I was just kind of curious because, like, I know, like, when I get sick, I'm very different from other people.
Yeah, because they're not sick.
It's like the opposite of being sick
Is like being healthy.
being healthy.
So, like, you want to live that healthy lifestyle, bro. You know, just like the type of lifestyle where everyone's got the flu and you walk around like without the flu.
Dude.
I really enjoyed that conversation. I just
it's
let
too
him talk
funny.
the whole time.
I know.
I put my phone down. I paid attention. He was fun because when
Should
I
record
first saw him, and he started talking, my first thought was, "This is going to be something memorable." And I put my phone down, and I'm like, "I'm going to focus all my attention on this."
You know,
Sorry.
he probably doesn't remember any of it.
No, because he has those conversations all the time.
Yeah.
When you're so confident and so weird at the same time, that means that your whole life is filled with those conversations.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The people that you talk to, they remember you so well, but you don't remember anything.
You don't remember any of them.
I wish I was like that.
Probably didn't even know you were talking.
You see what I mean? I don't want to talk about sickness. Choose these dumb agendas.
No, this is good. So
I've been sick, and it's not been fun. It hurts to breathe sometimes, especially in cold air. I had well, actually, they don't really know what it was. It's really just a symptom of something, but my lungs were doing weird stuff. They were bleeding from the inside, and I have to take this medicine that I have to breathe in to keep my lungs from scarring or scabbing.
either way, it's disgusting.
Well, it's not like scab. It's a special thing. I don't know what it's called. It hurts to breathe. I actually feel a lot better.
You seem better.
I
Even a
seem
couple
better.
days ago, like you seem better than even a couple days ago.
I can tell a lot of people have been praying for me and stuff like
Yes.
that too. I've
Kind
been
of.
out of church for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Brandon's been living it up, praying that I don't get better, so he gets more spotlight.
Spotlight. That's what I shoot for. No, I'm glad you're doing better.
Yeah, you
It's
too.
been a bad year for a lot of people. Just, those of us that have kids, like the kids have been getting sick on and off. Me, because I work at home, like I'm quarantined most of the time. So anytime any illness comes to me, I just get hit with it.
He has a hazmat suit on retainer.
I have to. I mean, like, seriously, I get nervous, like going to church, going to Walmart, going to really any place with more than like 3 people. I'm like, you guys are healthy, right? Because like, if I get it, I know this progression like the back of my hand. What'll happen is I'll get it. A couple days later, I'll get just a little scratchy throat. And that's when I go, crap. I know where we're going from here.
I actually woke up this morning with like my tonsil feeling a little tender. You know what I mean? Like where you can tell it's almost like you got a little bit of an infection there or something like
I know
that.
tonsils.
It's a little sore. I had that this morning. And I remember I've had that before. That's usually the first start with strep throat. What I did this morning, no joke, I remember being like, you know what? I'm going to church today. I missed 2 weeks. Brandon's had to substitute for me on my instrument for 2 weeks now. And I'm going to church. I'm going to worship. I'm going to be with my friends and my family. And I'm going to have a good time. And I'm going to worship God. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and I just prayed, God, just take this out of me. Like, I do not want this. I don't want this in here. It doesn't belong in here. I was finally feeling better, and I take it out of me. And it's gone. It's great.
If I get sick in a couple days,
What?
I'm coming after you.
Stop making out with me so
Nah,
much.
gross.
That'll help. No, actually, apparently you have been sick, but I didn't know because I haven't seen you in 2 weeks because I've also been sick.
So it was the day
it was a day because I called you on
he
Saturday.
called me on a Saturday saying like, dude,
And I was
feel
at the
awful.
hospital.
I'm going to the ER.
By the way, I
and-
had to wearing a breathing mask, like one of those face masks.
You look
They
like
said I had
Sub-Zero.
they said I had to
Ninja
wear
mask?
that for like 2 days,
Oh.
so that nobody in the house gets sick.
So so he calls me and he's like, dude, I need you to fill in for me. Is that okay? And like, I was starting to feel the sickness set in.
What
and
if
I'm
you
just
said
like,
no?
I honestly don't know what would happen. So I'm like, okay, well, hopefully I'll be able to make it through the morning. It was a very rough day. I got there.
I heard you were okay
was
the
out of it.
first service. You were okay.
So what happened was I pretty much used as much energy as I had to seem normal in the first set of the first service.
Mhm.
After that, like it just drained me. So then between services, it just really set in. And then by second service, where I tried to maintain a level of normalcy, after that first set, I pretty much went downstairs, sat on the couch, and like I was going in and out of just.
Just
'cause I
send
couldn't
me, just send me a picture of you dying on the couch.
I was dying on a couch.
and I felt really bad. But you know what though? I don't know if it's your first time playing piano at a church.
Second,
What was the first time?
Christmas.
Well, forget that because that was a special. It was technically Brandon's first time on a normal Sunday service playing piano for service, and he beats himself up over it. But I watched the live stream.
It
and
was
you-
awful.
and you killed it.
No, it was really bad.
You were dope.
It was bad. And then the next week was worse. And I
You
felt
were as
better, which
good
is the
as
crazy
dope.
part.
I was getting high, listening to you playing piano. You were better than dope.
I'm just nebulizing over here, listening to those keys.
I had to bring that breathing machine into work, like to use it like 3 times a day or something like that.
I was wondering what you were going to do about that.
And every time my manager's coming up, he's like, "You ain't got marijuana in there, do you?"
Oh,
like
gosh.
every time. No, of course I don't. Just
you should
medicine.
you should have kept it on and tried selling a bunch of Android phones. Just like, you want to buy the Android? Pixel 2 has a great camera. Oh man, that'd be great. It was rough. It was probably one of my lighter sicknesses.
Yeah.
Because normally, like when I get it, I get like down and out. Like what's nice is
Mm.
I almost never get the flu, so that's good. But I get a couple of colds that are pretty bad every year, and
you
they're
don't do
long
flu
lasting.
shots.
Hmm?
You and your wife don't do flu shots.
I should. I'm lazy.
Well, apparently
She got one though.
we talked about this too. Apparently this year, the strain for the flu that's been going around is different than the one that the flu shot was.
I guess it's hit or miss or
Something like that. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not.
Now
a doctor.
then there's also that stomach bug that's going around everywhere. It's like a 24-hour drain you on both ends,
For real. I got that like a month ago.
fever and like
It's
lay in
rough.
bed stomach bug. And apparently it only lasts like 20 hours.
Mhm.
Something like you feel it coming on at the beginning and then it hits you and then it goes away. And then you're super hungry afterwards because you know, nothing, there's no nutrients inside of you.
I was gonna say I can't think of a faster way to lose 10 pounds because I did.
I mean, you void about 10 pounds.
I lost 10 pounds when I had that a couple months ago.
I finally got that on, what was that?
It's Friday.
I want to say
wasn't it?
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was with a customer at work, and no, and it's a nice guy. I felt bad because his wife couldn't be there, but his wife made me cookies. But I've worked with them before.
It was the cookies.
They're super nice, Chris and Teresa. I highly doubt they'll ever stumble across this, but if you do, I like
Quit
working
name
with you guys.
dropping.
I'm not even doing last names. It's Chris and Teresa. Anyways, I was with him. I sold him a phone, and I was with him for an hour, like setting up and all that stuff. When I started with him, I didn't feel anything. By the time I was done, I felt like acid,
Mm-hmm.
start to like boiling on my esophagus. And I just told my manager, I'm feeling queasy. I went to the bathroom, did a couple things. And
You know what? That's true though. Isn't that weird how that works? Because
What?
that happened to me. Like I felt fine, and then all of a sudden, like you hear a grumble, you grab your gut and you go, "Oh," and
Yeah.
then you find a bathroom.
It was from the beginning of my time with that customer to the end. I felt it like just boiling and bubbling up inside
Isn't
of me.
that? It seems like something that should like kind of come on gradually. It does not.
Mine did. I mean, that hour.
Well, no. I mean, like
It was
seems
like
seems like
it
you
was
should
like a
ramp up like
crescendo.
over a day.
It was like a crescendo of
Right.
vomit building up inside of me. I mean, a crescendo of stuff building up inside of me. And then I was home. I went home and, I guess you could say worked out.
It felt like it.
Because I sweat a lot and I lost a lot of weight.
It certainly feels like it.
And then the next day I go to work and everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, Ken, are you okay? Are you okay, Kenneth?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'm great.
Yeah.
Real hungry.
But
When's
good.
lunch? Can I go to lunch?"
Yeah. So speaking of exiting,
Well, you and your wife both had that stomach bug.
The whole house did. It was really bad.
I remember when Joy got it, I was over here and we were going to record a podcast, and
And we didn't.
I felt so bad.
Yep.
She's always like around the house doing stuff, saying hi, socializing. Just to see her just like be in her room and just stay there. That
Yeah,
tough.
she had a rough morning.
I heard she got worse after I left.
Yeah, but then she napped for a while and then she bounced back. But then by the time she bounced back, it hit me. And then as I said to you, I said, because Kenny and I had KFC for lunch.
That gravy was lubricant.
And it didn't hit me yet.
That's
But,
so
like,
funny. We had a lot too.
We ate a lot. So
Oh, I remember that.
So it was about 6 o'clock. So it was
coleslaw, mashed potatoes.
So it was about
chicken
5 hours
tenders,
later.
barbecue.
And it was just sitting in my stomach, and my stomach was going nuts. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to throw up. I hate throwing. I don't know anyone that likes it. Don't get me wrong, but there's some people that go like, oh, I'll throw up.
I had a
And
friend
no
that
big
likes
deal.
it because genuinely you feel better after you do.
I
And
just
he
hate
likes
it so much.
he likes that after effect, like you
I don't
throw
think
up,
that
get it
way.
done.
To me, the experience is just one of the worst things that my body can go through. But
Yeah.
I was watching Rogue One, and it set in, and I'm like, I gotta go. And I went, and I kid you not, a gallon
Of stuff.
of stuff left my body.
Well, I think you already told the story. A gallon of KFC.
A gallon of KFC.
You ever see one of those KFC buckets?
It was the bucket.
You ever
It
seen
was the whole bucket.
seen one eat the bucket, like the whole thing? You ever seen anyone fill it back up? That's what it was.
So I texted Kenny later. I'm like, dude, Colonel came back for a salute.
You did. I forgot about that. Oh, it's
'cause
terrible.
It went up.
I didn't. You know what? I know so many people that got that stomach bug. It's not the flu. It's not a stomach
No,
flu.
it's gastrointestinitis, and
Yeah.
one of two viruses can cause it.
Everybody calls it the stomach flu.
Yeah, it's not
Anytime
a
you
flu.
do that, the flu is the flu. Like it's, there's no really. It's influenza.
Right. Which is all respiratory. So if it's stomach stuff, then that's not.
Well, there's other symptoms too.
Yeah, but it's primarily respiratory.
Yes. But the stomach bug that was going around, I knew so many people that got it, and I have such a bad immune. You see me, I'm sick all the time.
Mm-hmm. You are pretty gross.
My lungs are. I expect an apology at some point in the next podcast. You better apologize. And you just might say, Kenny, I just want to take a moment from this podcast just to apologize for you. I want you to do that.
We'll see what
Everybody be
happens.
listening to that. The
We'll
next
see.
podcast 2 weeks from now.
We'll see.
No, but I've been waiting for it, honestly, because I know I'm going to get it. Anytime
Mhm.
there's something goes wrong, I'm going to get it. All my family got it. My nieces and nephews. I helped my nephew Alan, and I watched him while he had it. That's when I for sure I'm going to get it. Nobody around me had it when I finally got it. I didn't even see a customer that came in looking queasy. Nothing
It
like
was just.
that.
It was like waiting.
I
It
was
was
just
just
at
waiting
work.
inside of you.
I was at work and it was just like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's been a month because Joy was the first one in your house to get it.
No.
Oh, no, Perry did,
Perry's was weird because normally it's gone in like at the lawn end. It's the 48 hours.
Yeah.
His lasted like a week, but it wasn't like full on.
He probably had a different bug.
It was because like I said, there's two different.
He might have
viruses.
had two things going on.
It's possible because norovirus is one of them, and I can't ever remember the other one. I'm pretty sure we had noro because it was bad, and that's
Is that
the one.
the
Like,
name of the bug that was going around, you think?
yeah, and that's the bad one because like the only way like you can get rid of it is like hand sanitizer and stuff doesn't kill it. Like you need to use bleach. So like you either have to use that Lysol with bleach spray or whatever, and you just gotta wipe
And chug
everything
it.
down and chug it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know why we don't do that. We know bleach kills bacteria and viruses. Why don't we just drink bleach?
It also kills people.
No, that might be why.
Yeah.
Darn.
This is when the essential oils people come in
And
play.
whoa,
Well, then I guess there's an alternative. Like to me, that's every essential oils person.
Just drink this bottle of oil and you'll be fine.
I'm
What?
sorry. I'm sorry, everybody, if you do that. But it's just I've never met someone that does essential oils or anything like that. And ever is just like just an average. They're
An
always,
average enthusiast
they're
of the
always
oils.
crazy about essential oils.
Yeah.
It's like you can never mildly be a Star Wars fan. You have to either be a
Yeah.
Star Wars fan or not be a Star Wars fan.
So I don't want to go down that path too much, but
What? The essential oil path?
oil one. But I
No,
will
let's jump right
say
in. And choose a little lavender, a little essential.
some tea tree oil.
I don't know if you knew this, but coconut oil cures cancer.
Does it?
No.
I just think it's funny how like it's never just use this oil. There's always like some weird ritual with it. So
Like a witch is coming.
like you have to you got to rub it on your feet, put your socks on, go to sleep for 3 hours. Put this one on the back of your neck and rub your belly 3 times. It's always some weird like
Yeah. That'd be like
method.
that'd be like if a doctor gave you pills and said, just take 2 of these, plug your butt, spin around 3 times, and go to a mirror and say rosebud, rosebud, rosebud as you look at yourself, and call me in the morning. Let's see if that gets rid of that.
So we watched Beauty and the Beast last night.
Tangent alert.
No, it's related.
Wait, the live action?
The live one with Emma.
Gaston.
Gaston.
No one fights like Gaston. No. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So that the scene with like Belle's mom, that wasn't in the animated one, right?
No,
They added that?
So it was almost a shot-for-shot remake,
Except for
from
that.
the cartoon, but there was a couple things here and there.
Okay.
For
It
example,
was really well done
what
as far
they-
as that goes.
They claim that the problem with the cartoon was that there's nothing really tying Belle to the Beast. Like you didn't actually see their relationship build.
Mhm.
So they put them through some stuff to help each other, like comfort each other,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Like
to
the
make it
library
a little
scene was emphasized a lot more.
better. Yes.
The walks and stuff. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is it made me
thought it was
think of the spoiler alert. It reminds me of the plague stuff because that's how her mom died. She had the plague. The mask that they used to wear,
Yeah.
right? The
Who? The doctor?
the doctors,
Yeah.
right? So what they used to do with those masks is the reason the nose on those masks was so
Like
long.
herbs in there or something like
They would
that.
put like flowers and herbs and
Hmm.
like because they used to believe.
Roses.
Well, I mean any floral type thing.
Or
It was basically potpourri they would shove in the end.
yeah.
So what they used to believe is that they thought sickness, and they were close, but they weren't totally right. They thought that sickness could be prevented if it was airborne because like, oh, it's a bad smell, as in bad as in harmful.
Yeah.
Well, you can fight that with good smells, right? Because, oh, this stuff smells good. It must block it.
Which is where Ring Around the Rosie, Pocket Full of Posies
Correct.
comes in.
Yes.
Ashes,
So-
ashes, we all fall down. Those
So-
kids are dead.
That is
That's
yeah.
what they're talking
Isn't
about.
that messed up? That is what that's from. That's
Yep.
so crazy. Actually, most of those old ones, like London Bridge and all that crap,
Mhm.
is all about really bad stuff. So I'm just curious, what are we doing today
What?
that is equivalent
Oh.
to those masks? I really feel like the oil craze is that. It's not that hard, really, to like eat healthy, be
Yeah.
healthy.
Says the two fat guys sitting
Says
over
the
my
two fat guys.
microphones.
But you know what? I don't do any of that stuff. I'm healthy as a horse. A fat horse, but healthy as a horse.
Listen,
And-
we would be considered very healthy back in.
A couple hundred years ago,
Yeah.
we would be kings.
We would be kings. We'd be so healthy. We'd be kings. They'd be like, "Ooh, look how successful you are.
I love your belly.
It's all your pecs hang down like a woman's breasts. You must be very healthy." That's an homage to man boobs.
So
They're not
No.
healthy. They're not.
Really? That's what you're talking
They're
about?
not healthy.
So no, it's funny though, but just because I get it, science and stuff changes too. Like we learn new stuff every day, and I'm okay with that.
And one, I want to be clear too, because we do. It's a small audience right now, but we do have an audience out there. I do not want to offend anybody. I am of the mindset that as long as it doesn't hurt you, as long as something that does not physically harm you, if it makes you feel better mentally, thinking that you're getting some benefit from this stuff, good. Way to go. Good for you. If you're a salesman for it, that's claiming a lot of snake oil stuff.
We don't want any.
You just don't, just don't go to Brandon and me. Just don't go to us.
Did you know that like not being sick is like being healthy? Whoa.
Whoa.
So no, I mean, it all
Not for
kind of plays
everybody.
together, and next podcast we're gonna be talking about food. So what a great way to lead into that, because oddly enough, we need food to survive. So guys, if you're not eating, start eating. So with that, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Brandon, give him the hashtags.
So I'm going to tell you about the hashtags we have. Meet the average enthusiast across the web. We got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We're also on the podcast networks, iTunes, and Google.
That was a podcast you chose to listen to. Do you think you make good choices? You heard Brandon and Kendall talk about things that are cool. We're feeling enthusiastic that you can be average too.
So dumb. So dumb, Brandon.